valuable by someone of your age is interested in death? I know young people die, but...
Yeah, so I get that question a lot. People say I'm too young to be interested in such a topic. What made you take on such a project? But what people forget is that people can die at any age, at any time, and from things that nobody saw coming. And death concerns everyone, you, me, us all. And we actually filmed a man who's not in the film. His name was Najendra from India. And he says to understand life, you must first understand death. And I also truly believe that statement. And it's like, without the darkness, there is no light. He had all this lovely philosophy. In India, I saw young kids watching their elders of their families on their deathbeds, because that's how it used to be for us as well. Now we're really sheltered, and yeah, now in our society we shove our loved ones away in clinical rooms, away from their family, away from their loved ones, only seeing them every so often in visiting hours, and that I don't really agree with. Experiencing death is part of our human journey, and we should be allowed to be there for our loved ones. My uncle actually recently passed away during this project, and he had limited choices at the end of his life. He had severe cerebral palsy, and he was unable to kind of speak about what he wanted, and that left my mum and my 92-year-old granddad to make the difficult decisions. And then, yeah, post his death, it cost like 10 grand to place his ashes with my nanas, and that was like an expense that was just far beyond what our family could afford. And my nan also passed away after an uncomfortable end-of-life period. So I'm very eager to explore the possibilities of how we can do things better, allowing one to have a good death, a death of one's own. I believe we are too shy of the topic and people are not being heard, and I hope this documentary brings about change to that. Starting from the very title itself, Death, Start the Conversation. Lastly, I'd like to note that technology is advancing so fast that sometimes our humanity slips away without us even realizing. In an age of technology boom, we need to remember and celebrate and hold on dearly to our humanity. I have learnt much from making this documentary with Dr. Mary Cooper, meeting with such a variety of people with individual stories and ideals. It really shows how death is individual, and we need to find more flexibility in allowing that individuality to be freely expressed and respected, to restore grace and dignity, like the film says. I learnt from Dr. Michael Barbado that when we're talking about spirit, we're actually talking about more than religion. We're talking about the individual, what makes them tick or what made them tick. The spirit is as individual as fingerprints. I love that quote that he said. And then a spiritual life may be as simple as riding a wave and going to the beach, and the joy and liberation that they get from that. I found that very powerful. Yeah, so that's a kind of a little note. Yeah, so, yeah.